Welcome to the latest edition of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we run down all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. I'm coming to you from the UK once again, different location altogether. I'll be here for the next episode as well, but we're making sure we stick to it, keep everyone updated, make sure these episodes keep rolling, and of course the work on the website and socials and all that, we kept the news pumping through and through. And yeah, we're going to kick things off. This episode's been recorded a day late, but still up during the week. Should be going live same day. And because of that, I'm actually going to include some of the stuff we saw on April Fool's Day. Now, over the years, we have, I think in the beginning, we shared a few things from April Fool's Day just as a bit of a joke, like kind of mixed in with all the news. We'd share like one or two pieces. More recent years, we've just gone with it. Instead of sharing 2 or 3 stories that were April Fool's Day's pranks, now we've been doing more like 2 stories that are not pranks, and then everything else is just fun. It's great to see brands come up with different interesting concepts, some of which actually did turn out to be real, as we've seen in the past. G Fuel is no stranger to doing that. Galaxon has done it before, and Ghost, of course, with I believe it was maple bacon. Pretty sure they did it for Pump. So brands of all shapes and sizes have got in the action. So I'm going to go over a couple of the ones that were notably mentioned on the day itself, purely because they were not full of shit. And not to be rude or anything, but again, a lot of brands were doing it for fun, doing it for entertainment, and it is cool. But there were a couple that snuck things in there that just were too difficult to believe, or borderline difficult to believe, especially since in the years past they have done things such as a joke. And one of the first ones I'm going to highlight is Bucked Up, the incredibly successful and fast selling Bucked Up. Last year they teased a pre-workout called Bricked Up. Sorry, not pre-workout, it was a testosterone booster. Obviously a perfect name for that sort of supplement, Bricked Up. But it wasn't real. It was just they teased the concept, they teased the picture, like everyone usually does, and had people believing it was real or a possibility. This year, full on 1 year later, Bucked Up has used that bricked up concept as another April Fool's Day prank, but this time it is not a prank. This time they are very real. This time they have actually gone ahead and made this supplement, and you can go and purchase it on their in their online store. I don't know if it's still there. In fact, I could probably just check for you right now. But they took last year's prank and made it a reality. Bricked Up is indeed an official supplement. It is still on their website, just checking for you. It is an official supplement. It is a testosterone boosting pre-workout. So it's something you can... so how do I explain this? Generally, when you get hybrid supplements, they give you ingredients for both sides. In this case, you get a few from testosterone and then a few from the pre-workout space. And in this case, you get citrulline malate in there, beta-alanine, caffeine, alpha-sized alpha-GPC, estrogen, synactive, several components you would find commonly see in pre-workouts, and they've been brought in for this one. But then you have the things, the ingredients to make it a testosterone booster as well, including ashwagandha, long jack, horny goat weed, and deer antler velvet. That's kind of signature to Bucked Up, but all that's in there to again make this a hybrid supplement, one that can help support testosterone production as well as offer pre-workout benefits. And that's Bricked Up, and it is very real. As while it was a joke last year, it is indeed real this year. You can buy it for $49.99 from the Bucked Up online store, so go check that out. But that wasn't the only interesting product that was actually made and not a prank. So Sneak, the UK gaming supplement company, they also got on the action. They put up, now this was, if you have seen what Sneak has done, this might not have come as a surprise, but over the last few months, Sneak has been doing what it's called Sneak Labs, which is, I guess, a beta testing, sampling type thing where they throw out some very intriguing products that you wouldn't necessarily believe. Some of those included the caffeinated ice pop, and then I think they did a caffeinated hot sauce. So neither of those were launched on April 1st. They came out over the past few months. They were just products that they sold. For April Fool's Day, Sneak put out under that Sneak Labs moniker or banner, they did a sneak mouthwash. And this was not fake, this was real. You can still probably go ahead over to sneakenergy.com and purchase a bottle. I believe it was very cheap. It was £2, which is about $2.50 US. And you can go buy it, get it shipped. I think shipping was free on this item as well. So if you ordered things alongside it, that was free too. But this was real. Interestingly, it didn't have any kind of twist to it. Obviously, if they made it caffeinated, you're not meant to swallow mouthwash anyway. So that wouldn't make too much difference there. But this was a real product. You could go and buy it. And more importantly, it comes in a raspberry lemonade flavor, which is a flavor from the menu of the brand's signature gaming supplement, Sneak Energy. And the last little April Fool's Day one I want to highlight is the team at Apollon. So if you remember last year, they did a bit of a prank where they they said they're coming out with a pre-workout. I can't remember the exact amount of caffeine in it. I know it was too high, but it wasn't like the outrageous amount. Like you see someone doing, hey, we're doing a pre-workout with 5,000 milligrams of caffeine. You're going to be like, this is an April Fool's Day prank. Apollon did one that wasn't too outrageous, but it was certainly more than they usually do. And it got a lot of attention. It was still a prank. It was very much not going to happen, but they put it out there. It was a nice, fun time. This year, Apollon Nutrition did not play around. They put together a product called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. It is indeed a real supplement, real product, and it is an absolute beast of a stimulant pre-workout. Apollon is already very well known for its high stim supplements, Assassin and Hooligan. The stars of the lineup, Assassin being the more stimulant heavy one, Hooligan being a more balanced approach, but still very high energy focused supplements. It's a mad, mad, mad world. It takes that, and I hate to use the pun or the cliche, but it puts it on steroids, and it is jacked the shit up, really. It is, I'm going to go over the label for you right now, but this is, again, the name makes you think April Fool's Day prank. It was revealed on April Fool's. The label, the formula is in a blend, which is not an Apollon thing that they do. But this is all real. This is coming out. This was sampled. This is tried. This is actually real. It's launching this Friday. We later found out that Apollon has selling it to 2 retailers. NutriCartel and Aries Nutrition are the only 2 places that are going to have it outside of Apollon's own online store. So when it runs out, and I bet your ass it will, you're going to want to go to either of those places or vice versa. Very limited supplement, and just to give you an idea on the formula, and like I said, this thing is it's not a joke. This is a juicy thing. So you do get 8 grams of pure citrulline, 5 betaine, and 6.4 beta alanine, and that's for pumps and performance. Now everything else is for the sensory effects of energy and focus. And as I mentioned, all of that comes in a blend except for the tyrosine, which is at 4 grams. That's transparently dosed. And then there is a fat 1 gram of alpha GPC. Now 600 is common, 300 to 600 is common, 800 is uncommon. Gram plus, I think I've only seen, God knows, like what a few, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've seen anyone in the 4-figure range. I know I've seen someone at 1.2, but in combination with everything else that Apollon has, and I'm just going to say it's a mad world pre-workout just for shorthand purposes, but for everything else that is in It's a Mad World, a gram is ridiculously good. Now, next up, I'm going to go over to just the full blend. So there's a 3.2 or 3.27 gram blend, if you want to say it, of stimulants. That includes phenylethylamine, theobromine, eriodrensis, juglin regia, 3 sources of caffeine and caffeine citrate, and hydrous and dicaffeine malate, halostashine, isopropyl norepinephrine, and then alpha yohimbine. And I tell you right now, 3 grams, like the problem with non-transparent blends is usually that you don't know how much you're getting. Now, this is only ever an issue when, the thing is most people that use blends, a lot of brands that use blends, at least back in the day, were doing it to, maybe they had a synergistic blend, but a lot of people use them, a lot of brands had them, and they kind of was to disguise, I guess, how low things were. If you got a 5 gram blend of creatine, beta alanine, and citrulline, you're up shit creek, because you should have 5 grams of creatine by itself, maybe 3, and then you could do 2 beta alanine, but then there's no room for citrulline. So again, there are ways to trick you with blends. That was one of the big issues with them. The team at Apollon for It's a Mad World, they've got 3.2 grams of stimulants in this, and none of these ingredients, I would say, are anywhere remotely above half a gram to a gram, like ever. It's a shitload of room. You've got more room. It's just not possible for any of these to be poorly dosed. The order is correct. You've got so you know that the juglins, the area, the theobromine, the phenylethylamine are all higher than the caffeine sources, which are all divided across 3. There's a combined 600 milligrams of caffeine as well. So you know that all of those other ingredients are above that, and then the ones below the caffeine, the halostashine, N-methyltyramine's in there as well, isopropanol, synephrine, alpha-yohimbine, are all below the caffeine sources, which I would think are probably in the realm of 200 to 300 each. That's obviously not counting their yield. So everything is laid out like you'd want. There's not like, it's not a 3 gram blend of stimulants and the first one's glycerol and then you have the other ones. That would be concerning. So I would say that they have probably just done this blend for the sake of doing a blend for the fun of April Fools and just to lead into the supplement. This is probably going to knock the shit out of you. I imagine the stimulant blend is just, if it's as good as I would think and as good as it looks on paper, it's going to hit. So you can check that out on the site, as well as all of the other April Fool's Day pranks. But continuing on to things that are not so, we're not shared on April Fools. There's a new bar out from Barebells. So Barebells has been teasing and hyping. This was actually revealed to us yesterday, put it out today anyway, just to include, because there's a lot of hype towards it throughout last week, as well as the start of this week and now today. Barebells had been teasing the coming of an all-new protein bar. Now we have seen this from Barebells multiple times where they've done completely new products, not just new flavors. Now flavors is what we see mostly from them for things like the Barebells signature protein bar, the soft protein bar, the Barebells milkshake, the protein RTD. This was teased and heavily hyped to be a completely all-new protein bar, and it is a mix of both. So I was expecting something like we saw back in the day there was the Barebells Core Bar, which was a smaller bar with a gooey center. There was the Barebells Double Bite, which was 2 pieces of a very different build and experience per pack. We've seen various Barebells ice creams, Barebells ice cream bar. There's been a bunch of different products they've done. We were kind of expecting something like that. The product has been revealed. It's essentially a Barebells dual bar or duo bar or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like, I think Quest did it back in the day. Not back in the day, not too long ago. Quest did the Smash bar, if I'm not mistaken, where it was 2 flavors in one. This is essentially that. Barebells has taken its cookies and cream flavor, one of the first ever flavors launched for the Barebells protein bar, alongside caramel cashew and salty peanut, and I think the other one was the coconut. So it's been around for as long as the brand. They've taken that classic cookies and cream flavor and added a layer of caramel. And if you know anything about Barebells, they know they smoke the caramel. There's the one flavor and the one texture and the one little thing that they just do ridiculously well. And this, I can imagine, is no different. And yeah, they've basically just taken cookies and cream and juiced it up. And the best part is that, so everything good in the cookies and cream is still there. The caramel is added on top. In addition to all this, the macros have been kept pretty much the same. You still get 20 grams of protein. You still get, I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. It's an identical 17 grams of carbohydrates. The fat's a little bit different, 7.3, but the calories are still under 200 at 198. If I remember correctly, the original cookies and cream is 194. So they're practically the same nutritionally, but this is a seemingly better cookies and cream. You can't really argue when you get everything that makes an original so good, and then you add something like gooey caramel, which is something that, as I said, we know Barebells just knocks out of the park every single time. All of its other flavors and products, even the ice creams that it used it in, were fantastic. So you can check that out on the site. Next up, we're going to head over to, there's the next one. So Black Magic. Black Magic joined the small but fiercely competitive category of pre-workout RTDs. Now, this space has got a little more competition to it than any others, or most others, sorry. And by that I mean it's much more compact. You don't have the wide variety of pre-workouts that you do in the powder game. It's basically competitive because I would say that there are very few places that the RTDs are sold. When you generally go into supplement stores, there's not a huge RTD section, so generally they're all kind of grouped together. So it's a small but again tough game. And Black Magic has thrown its hat in the ring with an RTD version of their original stimulant pre-workout BZRK, simply named the BZRK RTD, and the formula behind it is not the same. So there are some similarities to the original powder supplement, but I would say that you will experience quite a different pre-workout. I think the pumps and performance side are eerily similar, but then the energy and focus, the stimulants and all that are a little bit different. So don't expect a complete one-to-one replica of the powder to beverage, but do expect, I guess, some familiarity with the pumps, performance, and then some slight differences with the energy and focus. But just to rattle off some of the highlights, so do keep in mind the original BZRK pre-workout supplement is not completely transparent. The beverage is. So you get 7 grams of citrulline malate at a 2-to-1 ratio, 3.2 beta-alanine, 2.5 glycerol, a gram each of betaine and agmatine, 250 milligrams of caffeine, so a little bit less than the powder, which again I think is going to lead into less energy than you would get in the powder. Then you've got 100 milligrams of N-acetyl tyrosine. The caffeine anhydrous is actually also a long dicaffeine malate at 100 milligrams, but I believe that adds 75 yield. I could be wrong on that. Then there's Cognatic or Cogna IQ at 100 milligrams, Hupazine A, and 50 milligrams of estrogen. So yeah, it's definitely a different formula, different combination. I actually think the caffeine, if I remember correctly, the caffeine anhydrous is a lower dose. If I'm not mistaken, BZRK powder has straight anhydrous. Could be wrong on that. But either way, I do believe there are a few other components. I think the powder version, there we go, the powder version has 350 milligrams of straight caffeine, whereas this gets you 250 anhydrous and then 100 milligrams of dicaffeine malate. And then you've also got cola nuts in the other one, as well as isopropyl norepinephrine, very potent stimulant. Further leading to what I was saying, it's a more convenient version of BZRK, but at the same time, I feel you'll lose a bit, or at least get a different experience on energy and focus. Don't think that I'm saying one's weaker than the other, because the formula that they've packed into the RTD is still pretty damn intense, and I imagine it to slap just as well. From there, we're going to shoot over to news from Gorilla Mind, our brand of the year from last year, overall brand of the year. They are creeping close to their goal. Now, this one kind of came out of nowhere, but we were sent a little post from a retailer, basically. They had said they got a new flavor of the Gorilla Mind energy drink that you would not get anywhere else. That flavor is none other than mango peach, not to be confused with peach mango. I mean, it is the same combination of flavors, mango and peach, but Gorilla Mind has notably named it the other way around, mango first, peach second, and there is some truth to this. So the mango peach Gorilla Mind energy drink is actually exclusive to independent retailers. We were able to confirm this, that it's going to be exclusive, I believe, for the next 90 days. From there on, you'll be able to see it in other places. I'm not sure if that means like Gorilla Mind's online store or even GNC or Vitamin Shop, but for now it is exclusive to independent retailers, like the one that we first saw it at. I think it was Driven Supplements, and then now you can also get it online through the likes of Natural Body, the great team over there. But this is flavor number 15. Gorilla Mind did say after the launch of its energy drink and the 4 flavors it debuted in, which was black cherry, vanilla, Arctic white, exotic kiwi, and citrus rush orange, I think. It was green, white, black, and orange. If those flavors are off, my bad, but it launched in 4, and it said it was going to do 1 new flavor for each month following its launch for the first year. That would be 12 new flavors. It is on 15 right now. Mango Peach puts it at 15. That means it's a 1 away from doing that, achieving that goal, and its anniversary has to be next week or the week after, because it launched in April of last year. So they might still sneak in and make that make that phenomenal goal. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak in and then just keep on doing it, because it seems to be working tremendously well for them. But yeah, you can check that one out at local independent retailers, as well as other locations following that 90-day period. The next story we have is going to be, we're going to close out with two more. The next one is actually coming from Stack3d. Pharmafreak officially shared the formula behind the pre-workout that we developed with them, called Stack3d. Again, this is a nice pre-work collaboration. They came to us before the idea. We've been working over the last, I guess, almost the last half year to a year, trying to basically blend together things that we liked in a pre-workout and then things that they wanted in a pre-workout, and then still have their end result fit in with what they know their audience likes and is interested in. And the result is the pre-workout called Stack3d. You can probably pick the dosages that I preferred in there. The formula is pretty well rounded. You get 6 grams of straight citrulline, one of the ones that we really pushed for, plus 5 grams of betaine, so you know the pumps are going to slap, and that was one of the big things I wanted, was a good solid pump. Tyrosine's in there as well, 2 grams for focus, choline bititrate at 1 gram. Theobromine, pine bark also in there. Pine bark and amento pump are also in there for pumps. Theanine, estrogen is in there to help improve the absorption and uptake, basically the enhance overall efficacy of everything. And then the caffeine's at 375 milligrams, so it's nothing. It's not your premium kitchen sink thing where it's at $50-$60, and that's reflected in the price. So the Stack3d regular cost is $44, I think, through Pharmafreak's online store. Then if you sign up to the newsletter, and you can use their 20% coupon, it comes down to $35. And it is a beast of a supplement, 35, that you will not be disappointed in. Like I said, we tried to find a nice blend of what we like and what Pharmafreak liked, and I think that the final result is a fantastic little supplement that hits in all areas, especially focus and pump. The clarity on this is very impressive, and I also think that then plays into the ability to have a feel or a better pump overall. But you can check it out on the site. Go and buy it straight from pharmafreak.com. In fact, if you go to Instagram, we're giving away, I believe it is a tub every week for the next 3 weeks. So there will be one up this week, following week. Just basically follow the instructions in the caption and you're in to win, and we'll hit you up with, we reply to the selected winner the week after, so probably a week from today, but then by that time the next giveaway will be up, and so on and so on. The last story we have, and this is a non-specific story, but a big one nonetheless. So we have seen some giants enter the energy drink market as well as the sports drink game over the past year or two. Some of the biggest in the sports drink will obviously be Prime from Logan Paul and KSI. Had a massive impact. What was it? Like they're like $1 billion or some ridiculous number. I think it was that they were projected to do $1 billion. I think if this was the year just been, then Ghost obviously entered the game with Ghost Hydration, an incredibly delicious competitor. Inspired has thrown his hat in the ring with one of the tastiest, most advanced formulas I've seen, with their cool, very unique anti-aging twist. Now, we have news of another sports drink coming to the scene, and this is one that I think, at least on paper, is going to make plenty of noise. Prime made a lot of waves with its influences, Logan Paul and KSI, are the faces of the brand. Now, there's a new sports drink coming from Lionel Messi, the legendary football player who his reputation precedes him. He's been on multiple teams, multiple awards. Again, I think icon, legend, that doesn't even explain it. He's the second most followed person on Instagram. That's not just footballer, that is out of every single person. He is the second most followed person on Instagram. Second to fellow footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's, people love the shit out of footballers. And two of the most followed guys on Instagram are indeed footballers. And it is indeed Lionel Messi, who is coming out with his own sports drink. There's no name confirmed for the beverage. It is just that it's going to be a hydration drink. So I would assume plenty of electrolytes. Being a very mainstream drink, I think that's what they're going to go with, electrolytes. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a bit of carbohydrates in there. It is more common. I know if you do it in energy drinks, it's less expected these days, just because of how good the likes of Monster can make energy drinks taste without sugar. I would think that it wouldn't surprise me too much if a sports drink did it, especially if you've got Lionel Messi, who's obviously more of an endurance performance individual. Playing soccer is no short sprint, so I imagine I wouldn't be surprised if carbs are in the mix. But either way, electrolytes, I'm gathering, will be the key focus, but as a sports drink put together not just by Lionel Messi, but the company behind White Claw, I had their name written down somewhere, the Mark Anthony Group. So he's not just doing it by himself. He's not just trying to get it out there solo. He is indeed putting all the effort in, and he has a team behind him. So I am very intrigued to see how this turns out. Not just the final product, but see how it grows, if it expands the category, if it brings new blood, new fans to it, with all the other attention that's going on in it, with Prime, Ghost, all these sports nutrition brands taking it on. I look forward to seeing how this thing turns out, mostly. Then seeing how it performs, and of course how it tastes. But if it's from Lionel Messi, I don't think they're going to be pissing around on taste. I think it's going to be something pretty damn delicious. And more importantly, they have said it's going to be a global launch. I think it's debuting in US and Canada right out of the gate this summer, actually. Is it this summer? Yeah, this summer, within the next few months. And then it's going to everywhere else or other countries around the world. So big plans. Very excited to see how this thing plays out. For any stories we mentioned on the podcast, head to stack.com to check them out, find out more. As always, all we ask for the service and the things that we provide is to follow, visit the website every day, 2 times a day. Just open it up, put it in the background, put it in your phone, check it every hour, refresh, whatever you can do. That's all we ask, is people utilize the service as much as possible. And of course, share with your mother, your brother, your sister, your dad, everybody in between, and get the word out there more than we can already do ourselves, or we have the power to. But once again, thank you for listening, and look forward to having you back next week.